op-ed about Goldman Sachs, but everything I say today, I very much believe is true to the industry more broadly. I don't think Goldman definitely is a smart firm and an excellent firm in what it does, but I don't think its practices are very different in a lot of ways to the industry more broadly. So, when I wrote the book and I wrote the op-ed, I was using my career there as a prism to what I think has become conflicted in the industry more generally. The second thing I would say before I start is I think a lot of people would want to classify my views or this talk as in the Occupy Wall Street camp or in a different type of camp. What I would say is I'm very much a capitalist. I just have the view that free markets imply that the playing field is fair and there aren't lots of conflicts of interest. And a big thesis of my book, and what I was trying to get across in the op-ed, is the fact that capitalism, at least in the financial industry as it's going on now, I no longer think is on an even playing field. I think advantages are stacked in favor of banks and against their investors and clients in many respects. And I think there's maximum incentive for the system not to change. And I'll get into this a little bit more later on. But let me tell you the three things I'm going to discuss today. The first is, has anything really changed in the industry? Certainly when I wrote the op-ed, a lot of people said, well, things have always been this way, or Wall Street has always operated in a certain sense. So I'm going to tell you how, at least since I was sitting where you were 15 years ago, in my opinion, things have changed. The second thing I'm going to tell you is, with all these changes, how do banks exploit conflicts of interest to make money in a way that I view as unfair at best and potentially very systemically dangerous to society at worst. And the third point will be a little bit about what needs to change in order to fix this and why hasn't enough changed. And just on that point, I would ask, how many people in this room have heard of the Dodd-Frank Act? How many people think the Dodd-Frank Act has been implemented? So 4.5 years after the crisis and 2.5 years since Dodd-Frank was passed, less than 1/3 of Dodd-Frank has been implemented and more than 3/4 of the deadlines have been missed, and $400 million has been spent lobbying against it. So I want to touch a little bit at the end about this perception that conditions have changed and really try to show you guys why they haven't changed as much as I think Obama or Romney or any number of politicians would want people to think.